Hello media students, and welcome to this short film about your practical production focusing on the research section, which is worth 10% of your final mark. In this film we're learning to understand how to approach and complete the research section of our magazine production controlled assessment, and we're learning to analyse magazine front covers, showing how the conventions are used to attract an audience. Right, the first thing you need to know, the first thing you need to learn really, is the technical terminology for the different parts of a magazine front cover, and this slide will help you to do that. I'm not going to go through all of this now, but just so you can see appearing, and also this is on the presentation that you can get access to, all the technical names that you need to learn and that you need to use when you do your own analysis. Okay, so there's a good number of technical terms for you. When you're analysing your magazine front covers, I'll just go through the success criteria. So to do this to a skilled level, up to about a D grade, I would have said, you need to be able to show that you can identify several key conventions and features of the magazine front covers that you're looking at, and comment on how they're effective, how they attract a reader. For excellence, to move into explore excellence, you need to do these things. You need to identify numerous conventions, so lots of features of the front covers, not just the obvious ones, including increasingly subtle examples of conventions and features. So it's thinking beyond the obvious, really. You need to comment with increasing precision and detail on their attraction to a reader, and you need to use technical terminology with increasing precision and confidence. So those words that we looked at in the previous slides, key image, superimposition, headline, cover lines, that sort of thing, you need to use those terms with confidence, and the presentation needs to be really good. You need to show increasing care and creativity. So if, for example, you chose to look at a TV Quick magazine here, here's an example of a possible annotation. Red and white masthead stands out to the reader. Now it's quite good in the sense it's using the word masthead, it's using a technical term, but it's also really quite limited. It's not very precise or detailed in what it's saying about how it appeals to the reader. So that would be sort of skilled work, just about, I suppose. To move into excellence, you might get something like this. So you've pointed out that it's a masthead. The red background is like a tabloid newspaper. This attracts an audience interested in gossip and celebrity. It's a plain, unsophisticated font, easy to read and engage with. The use of the drop shadow, which is this, see this dark bit here? It's kind of making a shadow underneath the text, makes the masthead stand out from the page and catch the eye. So you can see how, even though we're just talking about this small bit of the magazine front cover, you've got three different points and you're really developing your ideas into detail. Going into detail is the key here. Now that, if you were doing annotations yourself, that would be a bit too big. So in your work, it'd be better to use a smaller font. Yeah, so you get a lot more in a smaller space, and try and fill up this whole page, this whole slide of your presentation with similar examples of annotation and analysis like this. So your task then is to produce and print out three annotated versions of at least 3 magazine front covers explaining how they attract an audience. Now in terms of the magazines that you use, I've stuck some on the presentation. There's a 442, there's a PlayStation one, there's Bliss, which is a teenage girl magazine, and there's Vogue. You don't have to use those ones. You can go on Google and find your own magazines, as long as it's appropriate. No lads mags or anything like that, please. And yeah, so you can use these ones, or you can go online and find your own. The extension here is that you could produce electronic collages of various cropped features. So for example, what you might say is, okay, I'm going to have a slide looking at lots of mastheads. Alright, so if I put a new slide in here, what you could then do is just go through a few different magazines. I'm going to format here in PowerPoint. I'm going to crop, which is there. And what you could do is you could crop that like that. So you've got one example of a masthead. Copy and paste it on there. Do the same for this one. So you're going to review. So you've got to click on it, review, and then crop it. And then obviously you could create a whole slide full of different mastheads from different types of magazines.